The Irish Song and Recitation Festival, home of song, story, and poetical proverb. You are at the Irish Roots Cafe, and I am Mick the Bridge, your host. This is one of 3 broadcast series here at the cafe. The other 2 cover Irish family history worldwide and the history of the Irish in America. Oroche da Vahawalia. So step right up to the microphone, folks. Consider calling in at 816-256-3360. Then you just speak, sing, or play your piece proudly into my phone recorder. If it fits, we will place it on the air in a future show. But remember, it's all for free and it's all for fun, and tens of thousands of our listeners are looking forward to each show. And why is that? Because every day's a holiday at the Irish Roots Cafe. Reach me anytime, and be sure to read my show notes for this episode on my webpage at www.irishroots.com. Now let's move into the big back room here at the cafe and have a listen to what's being served up today. This is the Irish Roots Cafe, and Peter's just finished up with the River Shannon, and boy, look at that big smile on his face. They're just loving him out there so much he can't even stand it. Here, come on in, have a seat here, Peter. Talk to us for a while.
Oh, thanks a lot, Mike.
Oh, yeah. I can't
it's a great crowd there, though.
Oh, it is, and they always want more of you, that's for sure.
They want to give, and I tried to get away, and then they drew me back in.
I tell you, and you hated every minute of it. I know. Oh boy, you know, we've been talking about a lot of these songs in Tin Pan Alley, and I mentioned way back in the first episode, Chauncey Alcott and some of those folks. And boy, when you come to talk about some of those really famous tunes, some of the other best tunes that we haven't talked about. Like When Irish Eyes Are Smiling.
And that's another song that, first of all, it's the truth. I mentioned earlier that in another episode that the Shannon was like the vein that was going through Ireland, you know, it brings the life to Ireland.
Right.
And when you notice about the Irish people, their eyes, they smile at you. There's a gleam in the eye.
That's right.
They're happy people. They're not overwhelmed by life.
That's right. There's a sparkle.
Yeah.
A special sparkle.
And they're friendly and kind and caring. And it is when they're smiling. And that's another song, like we talked about Danny Boy another time. When Irish Eyes Are Smiling, everybody knows it.
That's right.
And I have some Mexican friends. Peter, sing that song about the eyes. They love it.
Yes.
It's that feeling of friendship and passing on joy in life, the excitement of life. And it's a bright light in the Irish soul.
And do you know who wrote it?
I do, but...
Chancellor John Alcott.
Well, Chauncey.
Yes, yeah. Chauncey. Oh, you know Chauncey by name.
Affectionately, we refer to him as Chauncey.
That's right. Well, he also wrote The Wild Irish Rose.
Yes, he did.
Do you know the story behind The Wild Irish Rose?
Well, I know part of the story. Isn't it about a young boy or a young girl?
There may be 2 or 3 stories there. We'll have to share them. But yeah, you're right. There was a young boy. His wife told the story after he had passed away. They were in... Glengarriff, what was the name of that?
Glengarriff?
Might have been Glengarriff.
In Kerry?
I'm thinking Glengarriff in Cork.
Oh, in Cork.
At least that's how they spelled it on the sheet here, so I'm going to say it. But that was 1898. They were walking along, and Chauncey decided to buy a rose for his fine wife. I think she was married then, I don't know.
Yeah.
But she pressed that rose in a book, and years later he says, I need to find a title for this tune I'm writing. And she opened up the book, showed it to him, and says, here's your title.
Wow.
And so the Wild Irish Rose came about. This guy, this Alcott guy, you think he's a dandy, maybe you're listening to his name and whatnot, but I tell you what, he wrote more songs and plays than just about anybody else in that period for the Irish.
A very prolific writer.
Yes, he was.
And look at the songs that last.
That's right.
I mean, people are still singing them. And the best thing, I mean, it's like Danny Boy, and then, of course, with an Irish Eyes, everybody knows it. They may not remember all the words. They may not know all the, but they recognize it and what it means. And that's an important part, I think.
Well, that's right. And that's like we said before, that's a test. That's how long a song has endured, and it also tells you how you've affected a whole culture, and he sure has. I tell you what do you think we do for your next challenge? We've just got, about 3 left, I think. When Irish Eyes Are Smiling.
That's a great song. I like to get it's one that everybody remembers. The only problem with it,
Right?
is that most people only know the chorus.
I know.
There are verses.
That's right.
And the verses are great verses, and it's almost like a story. Well, it is. You know, it is.
Yeah,
You're telling a
that's
story,
right.
and then finally you get to why is that? Because when Irish eyes are smiling, the world is grand.
That's
that's what
exactly.
it is. That's what we have to
That
impart
is.
on that. Yeah.
And I can see that twinkle in your eye when you get up to sing
Oh,
it
sure.
too.
Now, I will admit that when you talk about Irish songs, this is what I sometimes refer to as schmaltz,
Right.
because it was, so many of the songs that we read, especially if they were coming from immigration, the people who were gone, or as some are referring to it as the Irish diaspora.
Right.
The dispersion of the Irish, from whether it was done because the Brits were sending people off to prison or throwing them out, exporting them out of the country, deporting them, or when people got to other places, their hearts were going back to the land that they loved. And so these songs came about also because of remembering Ireland, but not being in Ireland.
Well, yeah, that's right. And I think I brought a piece of sheet music along here just to see how it went. And here you got a big sheet music there, and it's for a play. And there were how many?
Yeah.
4 or 5 songs in that play. And what does it say here? Let me see. It's the name of the play was The Isle of Dreams, or The Isle o' Dreams, which
grand.
fits
Isle
the
of
schmaltz.
Dreams.
Yes. And that's where Irish Eyes Are Smiling was released to the public.
There's another song, and it's called Ellis Island.
Yeah.
And it talks about, no, it isn't called Ellis Island. It's about being on Ellis Island. And it's called Don't Forget the Look in Your Grandfather's Eyes. And it talks about the island of dreams and the island of tears.
Yeah.
The nice contrast there.
That's right.
So that play was the Isle of Dreams.
Right. Chauncey
Oh, boy.
Alcott's. That's just one of his many, many plays.
And and Ireland is seen so much as a very romantic place. It is, with its rivers, its lovely mountains, its valleys, as we mentioned in other segments, and the flowers, the wildflowers, and the animals. It's just enchanting. It has a certain. I don't know what it is. You can tell it the minute you get off when you smell the air.
Yeah.
It's in the air. It's
Even
just,
looking at it.
Yeah.
The color. It is emerald. It's
it is gorgeous. Gorgeous.
Yeah. In the plane, you can tell. It's just like, my gosh, what's that popping up out of the ocean?
Oh, and it's such a beautiful sight to see it there as you're coming in.
Oh, that's right.
I used to think it was a long flight. Now it's just a few minutes.
And has the food gotten any better in the last?
Oh, the food has become wonderful.
Oh, good.
There have been great influences, and I suppose the Americans are responsible because of their demanding. But Ireland has become very cosmopolitan. Dublin, was a grand city in the empire.
Right.
And, of course, when Ireland gained its freedom and it became its own capital city, other people started coming, and the Irish built it up. Years ago, food was healthy for you. It was okay, but it wasn't fancy. Right. Now, fancy as could be.
Oh, my.
They have picked it up, and I've had some magnificent dinners and things in Ireland. I still like going and getting the stuff at the little shops and things.
That's right.
They have the best ice cream you could ever imagine. I don't know how to get, but I love even the pub grub. Their soups, can't beat them.
Yeah.
But when you go for a formal meal, the dinners are excellent, out of this world.
Yeah, I was surprised a few years ago when I started seeing more chef shows with an Irish chef preparing these delicacies.
And in County Cork, the town of Kinsale, way down on the southern part of Ireland, Kinsale is known as the culinary capital of Ireland. There's a school, and some of the best restaurants in Ireland are in Kinsale.
And I heard they're trying to grow wine in a few more places.
They are, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the Irish aren't big with wine. I mean, but that's that cosmopolitan influence. And it's coming from the EU has affected that also.
Right.
And it's
right.
coming from the mainland in Europe.
And-
And it's not, English food is still horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's still horrible. I don't care where you're going, it's still horrible.
Bland.
Yeah, exactly. The influence, it seems to me, is French.
Uh-huh.
They have wonderful breads, and the French are known for their wonderful breads. But that's what seems to be coming into Ireland, is that a French influence and some Spanish influence, a Mediterranean
Right,
catch.
right. That's got a little spice of help on that food.
And because the Irish have now gone so many other places in the world,
Yeah.
they want the same when they go home. They've
Yeah.
tasted it in other places. They want to have it at home.
That's right.
There's a lot of Indians from India in Ireland, Pakistanis.
Oh, and I knew there
And
were in England.
They
I
have
didn't
some.
know.
They're in Ireland, and they have their own, and they have restaurants. There's Chinese restaurants in Ireland. There's Italian restaurants in
Right.
Ireland. I saw a Polish grocery store in Ireland.
Yeah, that makes sense with all the Polish workers coming in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As we refer to ourselves as Irish Americans, they now have people who are referring to themselves as Polish Irishmen
Oh, isn't that?
or Romanian Irishmen.
Yeah.
Yes, they have opened their arms, and there's a lot of immigration into Ireland,
For the first
mostly in
time.
the cities.
Yeah, yeah. That is a whole different. Even a lot of the people in Ireland are surprised at all the people coming over for work.
Oh, tremendous, yeah. And they have similar issues as we do here with immigration.
Now, when one of them would be smiling, they'd just come into the country for a while. Would they have smiling Irish eyes, or would it take a generation to develop?
I think it would take a generation.
It did. Well, it's on the way then.
It is. It is.
My. Well, let's have that when Irish eyes are smiling.
All right, and it starts off, with there's a tear in your eye, and I'm wondering why.
All right, go get 'em, Peter.
There's a tear in your eye, and I'm wondering why, for it never should be there at all. With such power in your smile, sure a stone you'd beguile, so there's never a teardrop should fall. When your sweet lilting laughter like some fairy song, and your eyes twinkle bright as can be, you should laugh all the while, and all other times smile, and now smile a smile for me. When Irish eyes are smiling, sure it's like a morning spring. In the lilt of Irish laughter, you can hear the angels sing. When Irish hearts are happy, all the world seems bright and gay. And when Irish eyes are smiling, sure they'll steal your heart away. For your smile is a part of the love in your heart, and it makes even sunshine more bright. Like the linlet's sweet song, crooning all the day long, comes your laughter so tender and light. For the springtime of life is the sweetest of all. There's never a real care or regret. And while springtime is ours, throughout all of youth's hours, let us smile each chance that we get. When Irish eyes are smiling, sure it's like a morning spring. In the lilt of Irish laughter, you can hear the angels sing. When Irish hearts are happy, all the world seems bright and gay. And when Irish eyes are smiling, sure they'll steal your heart away.
That's a wrapper for today, folks. I'm Mick the Bridge at the Irish Roots Cafe. You can contact me at mike@irishroots.com or send your submission or your notes to Box 7575, Kansas City, Missouri 64116. And you can always reach me on the web at www.irishroots.com. Call up and leave me your message or your entry on my phone recording machine at 816-256-3360. Just do it today. And oh yes, any donation to keep this show going is appreciated. And remember, keep the best of your Irish heritage alive today.